few beers deep, to be honest with you. It's okay, Fast and Furious, it's kind of loosey-goosey. Welcome to Fast Family, the Fast and Furious in review. As you can see here, guys, we got the Fast and Furious shirt. If this is your first time here, guys, I'm Kyle, your host. So a couple quick facts here, guys. So the Fast and Furious, a 2001 movie. Terrible year. 9/11 happened that year. But you know what? We're looking at the positives for this year. Fast and Furious franchise, dude. Incredible franchise. Love Fast and Furious. And if you're thinking, I don't know, Kyle, Fast and Furious is kind of like a weird franchise. Hey, dude. Once you realize that it's just outrageous, over-the-top action, you will love the franchise. There's a harpoon gun underneath the truck. And let's go, baby. This is Fast and Furious. Brian O'Connor, played by the late, great Paul Walker. He pulls up in a green 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse, dude, and he rocks the shit out of that car. Hey, man, why don't you try Fatburger from now on? And he's like, Brian goes, I like the tuna here. And he goes, nobody likes the tuna here. You know, Vince pushes Brian into his old red pickup. They have a fight there. And they're like begging Dom. They're like, Dom, go out there and break up the fight. Brian says, hey, man, he was in my face. And Dom goes, I'm in your face. And I'm like, let's go, Vin Diesel. Brian says, I need NOS. He's like, bro, I need NOS right now. And then we get Limp Bizkit's rolling, dude. And I'm like, bro, as someone who grew up on Limp Bizkit, Chocolate Starfish and Hot Dog Flavored Water, and this was, I think, the album before that, so good. It's not how you stand by your car, it's how you race your car. I smell skanks. Find another way home, pizza boy. No, Monica! It's really funny. Dude, I almost had you. Almost had me? You never had me. You never had your car. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. He goes, winning's winning. It's gonna be a long ass night. Why'd you bring the Busta? Because the Busta kept me out of handcuffs. You can have any beer as long as it's a Corona. And you know you owe me a 10-second card, right? Jordana Brewster and Paul Walker are vibing this movie. You know, I asked for a 10-second card, not a 10-minute one. And then it's barbecue time, baby. White boys work fast. Yikes moment. Johnny Tran is a dickhead, but he looks cool as fuck. Break her heart and I'll break your neck. And I'm like, I watched my dad burn to death. Wow, that's fucked up, dude. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free. Paul Walker's got that swag, dude. He's getting after it. And they bang already because, of course, about Toretto. It's always been about Toretto. There's more than 100 grand under that car. Do not race him. Letty ends up crashing her car into the ditch. Brian shows up. He jumps onto the truck, untangles Vince's arm, but the driver reloads a shotgun, and he shoots, forcing Brian to jump back onto the roof of his own car. If we don't get into an ambulance in 10 minutes, he's gonna die. So he makes the choice to blow his cover in front of Dom, and he calls the life flight and makes the choice to save his life over keeping his undercover status there. Dom's got that shoddy Bugatti, dude. Brian has a pistol, but he's like, put the gun down. I'm like, bro, you don't have the advantage here. You get the rematch everybody wanted, Dom versus Brian. There's a great shot of them using NOS and just barely clearing the train over there. I'm kind of making it, but then he crashes into a truck. His car gets messed up, and Brian gives him the keys, and he says, I owe you a 10-second car. And that is how the Fast and the Furious ends. Okay, guys, so my favorite character for this one, which we are calling the 10-second car award, it's gotta go to Brian O'Connor, dude, as Paul Walker. Paul Walker is so good in this series, but the fact that he's playing like a double agent here, that he's like hitting on Mia, he builds a relationship with Dom, he's playing undercover cop here, but he's gotta blow his cover, but then he has the decision to save Vince's life or keep his cover as an undercover cop. He blows his cover because he knows the right thing to do is to save Vince, and so he calls for the med life, but he knows that that's gonna blow his cover with Dom, and he knows Dom's not gonna trust him, but they build a relationship where he's like, even though I know you're a cop, I'm still gonna trust you. And so it's a crazy, complicated thing. But Paul Walker, dude, he does a good job of playing undercover cop. He plays the handsome, heroic guy. He stands up to Vince. He likes the tuna no crust, I should say. He hits on Mia. He knows what he wants to. They have a great dinner scene. I think Paul Walker was the best one in this movie. At least he was really, really good. Most interesting character, I think. So Paul Walker gets my 10-second car award. Okay, guys, the award for They Never Had Me, which is the worst character award. Dude, it goes to Vince, plays by Matt Schultz, or Schultze. He's not a bad actor, but man, that character sucked. Super aggressive, one-dimensional character, coming after Mia, clearly jealous of Mia. He's part of the crew, but he feels like the most expendable character, where he goes over there, his arm gets tied up, and then Brian calls for the med life to save him. But I was like, dude, this guy could have died, and then I wouldn't have cared less about him. So just a weak, one-dimensional character. I thought he was like super aggressive from the get-go, like clearly trying to hook up with Mia. And there's like the scene with the microwave where he freaks out, but it's like, dude, you just gotta let it go and like understand that Brian's a good dude. So he's clearly jealous and passive aggressive and all that. So Schultz as the Vince character gets my award for the Never Had Me award, which is the least character for Fast and Furious 1. Okay guys, for a score for this one, this is a 7-8 for me. It's a good film. It held up better than I thought, but Fast and Furious didn't know what they were at this point. They tried being too serious, trying to be too crazy. Fast and Furious is known for its like over-the-top action, crazy, like bonkers action. This movie tried to be like a cop thriller action movie. They didn't really know what they had with Fast and Furious, so I'm glad that they changed their tone there. But this movie is just, it holds up relatively well, but it's a little too serious for my liking. And so that's why it's not going to crack the 8s for me. A 7-8, I think the cars still look great. It's still cool, it's cheesy. There's a couple funny scenes like the No Monica scene, but for the most part, like Busta kept me out of handcuffs. I like that scene. But for the most part, high 7s, because it's not a bad movie, it's just not what the Fast and Furious franchise is. So 7.8 I think is a fair score for the pilot. Okay guys, that brings us to the Fast family rankings. This is the first one obviously, so number 1 goes to the Fast and Furious. We'll see with 2 Fast and Furious next week if that dethrones it or if it goes to number 2, but obviously there are no other rankings here. So number 1, Fast and the Furious, the original movie. That's pretty much all I got to say about that one. Okay guys, that's it for the pilot episode of Fast Family. So thanks for checking out the channel guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We don't have friends, we have family. Go check out the other content. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and until next time guys, peace.